Hello and welcome. So today, let's talk about something I think we've all felt. You're staring up at this massive goal, this huge project, and you just feel completely paralyzed. Well, we're going to dive into a simple little parable that completely reframes how to tackle the impossible. Our story starts with an apprentice, Elara. She's been training for years, she's exhausted, and her goal just feels further away than ever. So she turns to her master and asks this question. A question just filled with doubt, It's a feeling we can all relate to. And that feeling has a name. We'll call it the Unreachable Mountain. It's all about that paralysis that kicks in when a goal is so big, so intimidating, that you can't even figure out where to start. This slide just nails it, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the dream, mastery, climbing that mythical Mount Aethel. But on the other side, well, that's the reality. Years of burnout, feeling like you're just stuck in the valley looking up. That gap is where we get lost. Okay, so here's where things get interesting. We move on to the master's bizarre task. Instead of giving her some profound secret technique, the master gives her an instruction that is so simple it's almost insulting. So, he leads her to this giant, immovable boulder. You can just imagine what she's thinking, right? Oh, great, here comes some impossible test of strength. But that's not it at all. He doesn't even look at the boulder. He points to something much, much smaller. And here it is. This is the grand task. It is almost comically simple. Step 1, find one little pebble. Step 2, carry it a few feet. And step 3, just do that. Every single day, the whole thing would take, a minute? It feels completely meaningless. And you can bet she wasn't the only one who thought so. Her peers, her friends, they'd see her doing this tiny little ritual every day and just laugh. To everyone else, it looked like a total waste of time. What does moving a pebble have to do with climbing a mountain? But here's the thing. Elara does it. She keeps her promise. And now we get to see what happens. This is the result of that daily ritual. After a whole year of this seemingly pointless habit, we get to see what that slow accumulation of effort actually looks like. Just look at how this changes over time. On day 1, it's just a pointless task. 6 months in, she's not even thinking about it anymore. It's just a mindless habit. But by the end of the year, that habit has actually created something tangible. A small mound.
365, that's the number. Each pebble on its own was nothing, totally insignificant. But together, they represent a year of showing up. It's a physical monument to her consistency.
So when the master asks her what she's accomplished, her answer is so humble. I've created a pile of pebbles. A very small hill. She sees what she's made, but she doesn't really get the significance yet. And this is the perfect setup for the story's big reveal.
And that brings us right to the climax, the Mountain of Pebbles. This is the moment of revelation where the master finally connects her tiny little task to her massive goal.
He doesn't give some long speech. He simply has her look at her little pile of pebbles and then up at the giant, towering Mount Aethel, and he asks this one profound question. What is the mountain made of?
And there it is. That's the answer. That unmovable, terrifying mountain. It's made of the exact same stuff as her small, manageable hill. The only difference is scale and time. It proves that any impossible goal is really just a massive collection of small, possible steps. So this brings us to what we can officially call the Daily Pebble principle. It's this core idea that monumental achievements aren't built in these giant, heroic leaps. They're built through the steady, consistent, sometimes boring, accumulation of tiny, manageable actions, day in and day out.
This really is the key. It's not about finding motivation. It's not about intensity. It's about building a system, a daily habit that's so small it's almost impossible to say no to. That quiet, daily consistency, that's the invisible engine that drives all real progress. Okay, so it's a powerful story, but what does it actually mean for us right now? The real question becomes, what's the unreachable mountain in your life? And maybe even more important, what's your daily pebble? Let's look at some examples. If your mountain is writing a book, your pebble isn't to write a chapter. No way. It's to write 150 words. You want to run a marathon? Your pebble is just a 10-minute run. Learn a language? Just 5 new words. You see the pattern? Each daily action is so small and achievable. That's the whole point. So let's just boil this down. The key takeaways are right here. First, learn to love the process, the simple act of moving your pebble each day. Second, break that scary mountain down into the smallest possible step. Third, always value consistency over intensity. And finally, trust. Trust that all that small progress is going to add up to something massive.
And that really leaves us with one final thought: the potential for your greatest achievement. It isn't hiding in some future moment of inspiration. It's right here, right now, in the smallest possible action you can take. So the only question left is, what pebble will you move tomorrow?